Part 130. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhenshen. Chapter 1291. It was past lunchtime, and the number of customers in the noodle shop gradually decreased. The leader of the vanguard, Cheng Xiaoming, planned to go out to the antique shop to chat with the fat protector, Zhang Wen. Unexpectedly, just as he walked to the door, 3 people pushed the door and walked in. Naturally, they were all Japanese. The person who pushed the door was Wen Ji, and the officer was actually a woman. She looked a bit fierce, of course, it might be because of the Japanese military uniform. When they saw the leader of the vanguard, they were stunned for a moment and stopped. Cheng Xiaoming quickly picked up the towel on his arm, as if he was going to wipe the table and greet the new guests. Wen Ji quickly stopped him. "Don't be busy yet, vanguard boss, I'm not here to eat noodles, this is..." The female officer raised her left hand to stop Wen Ji from talking, walked to the leader of the vanguard, and looked him up and down with a scrutinizing look. She looked at Fei Ying, who had already walked behind the leader of the vanguard, and then glanced at Xue Cai, who was looking out of the kitchen. She seemed relieved. Then she said to one of her officers behind her, "Let all the strangers leave immediately. The noodle shop is closed today." "Ha!" The officer stood at attention and saluted. He didn't have to chase them away. The only 3 or 5 customers in the noodle shop had already stood up and paid the bill and left after hearing this. It was not mealtime. Customers who came to the noodle shop were all here to chat, eat something simple, and look at the beauties and handsome guys. Knowing that the soldiers were not to be messed with, they naturally left obediently. Before leaving, one of them nodded to the female officer imperceptibly. Xiaoming and his men didn't have to close the door and pack up the stall. 2 soldiers stood guard at the door, and no one dared to come in. It was equivalent to closing the door. Several people sat down in the lobby. Everyone was waiting for the female officer to speak first. She had too much aura. If she didn't speak, Xiaoming would pretend not to speak. "Master Vanguard, I am the chief of Shanghai Special High Technology Department, Minami Yoko. I came to visit you today to ask you a question." "Hello, Chief Minami, please take care of me since this is our first meeting. If you have any questions, please tell me. I will tell you everything I know." Minami Yoko took out a photo from her pocket and handed it to Xiaoming. "I wonder if Master Vanguard has seen this person." Xiaoming took it and looked at it. He really had seen him. It was a Japanese officer, Lieutenant Miura, who had come to eat noodles a week ago. He didn't do anything special. However, Xiaoming's intuition sensed his malice. This guy had taken a fancy to Yukina, and on the surface he didn't show any emotion at all. But in his heart he was planning to secretly attack the noodle shop and use some conspiracy to force Yukina to marry him. It was nothing more than a routine of framing. Lieutenant Miura was familiar with it. This was not the first time he had done this. The difference was that he did it to benefit his superiors before, but this time he did it for his own benefit. Although the leader, the vanguard, Fei Ying, and Sui Ke are all Japanese, the Japanese officers are not polite when bullying their own people. The reason for taking such a roundabout way is that Fei Ying is too popular. If he robs directly, it will easily cause dissatisfaction among the lower-level soldiers. Xiaoming is not afraid of a mere Lieutenant Miura, but he does not want to expose himself because of such a thing. It is too conspicuous, and the spy business will be ruined. So, on the way home, Lieutenant Miura was scratched on the leg by a flying stone that bounced from the street. The wound was too small, so he didn't care. Who would have thought that he would die of poison soon after returning to the barracks? This was of course the work of the leader's right guard, Huang Xiaoming, and Karama, who were mixed in the underworld. At that time, a car passed by and splashed some gravel. Xiaoming, who was squatting on the side of the road begging, used the finger-snapping magic to mix a small stone coated with poison into it. No one knew. In this world, the power of the finger-snapping magic is far less than that in the legend of the Condor heroes. It is difficult to kill people, and only poison can be used to assist. Lieutenant Miura did not have time to arrange his conspiracy. No one even knew that he had planned to attack Yukina. A lieutenant officer was poisoned to death inexplicably. This is a big deal. Not only is the military investigating, but the Special High Department has also intervened. It's just that the fact that he came to eat noodles is too small, and many soldiers saw it. The investigators quickly ruled out the suspicion of the ramen restaurant. No one even came to ask about it. Because no matter from which angle you look at it, this small noodle restaurant has no suspicion. In this matter, it is not the turn of the head of the Special High Department to come forward in person and run to a small noodle restaurant to inquire about the news. She must have another purpose. Xiaoming is basically clear about her purpose. So Xiaoming pretended to be thoughtful and answered. This person seems familiar. Well, I don't know who he is, but maybe he came here to eat ramen a few days ago. I'm not sure. Yoko Minami nodded and asked, is that so? That's good. Can you please go back with me to make a record? Also, take down the sign outside. Of course Xiaoming didn't want to put up that sign. But on the surface, he had to show that he was reluctant, but he didn't dare to talk back. Yoko Minami smiled, we, the great Japanese Empire, want to establish a co-prosperity sphere. That sign is not very suitable. Put it away first. She emphasized put it away first, implying that there will be opportunities to put it up in the future. Don't attract hatred for the time being. Since they said such nice things, Xiaoming naturally took down the sign without hesitation. He handed the noodle shop over to the Feiying brothers and sisters. Xiaoming got on Minami Yoko's car and went to the Special High section. Taking a statement was just an excuse, and Minami Yoko didn't think that the leader striker had anything to do with the death of Lieutenant Miura. From the timeline, since Lieutenant Miura left the noodle shop, the three people in this ramen shop have been busy with business in the store. There were multiple Japanese soldiers witnessing the whole process. They didn't even go to the toilet, let alone go out. There was really no suspicion at all. Finding an excuse to bring him back to the Special High section was to see if he could be used by the Special High section. A few days ago, the Fat Protector had recommended the leader striker to his superiors. So the Special High section sent people to conduct a comprehensive investigation of the ramen shop. Since then, there have always been 2 or 3 spies from the Special High section among the customers of the noodle shop every day. Xiaoming has seen it and is happy in his heart. The spies reported the situation of the noodle shop truthfully, and the performance of the leader striker aroused the interest of Minami Yoko. She didn't want to develop the leader striker into just an ordinary spy on the periphery, because she didn't need to show up at all. Minami Yoko hoped to get a subordinate who could be fully trusted. So she came in person to take Xiaoming away. Among the reincarnations, only Orange Xiaoming was reincarnated, so his physical fitness was no different from that of ordinary people. This made Minami Yoko feel more at ease. If he was a strong master, people would also wonder, where did you, the owner of a noodle shop, get this tendon meat? I can't be at ease. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhenshen. Chapter 1292. The Special High Police Section is a Japanese spy organization established in the late 19th century and early 20th century. Its full name is the Special High Police Section, which is affiliated with the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Japan. Theoretically speaking, it is not under the jurisdiction of the military. However, since the Special High Police Section is mainly engaged in espionage work, its cooperation with the Japanese military is relatively close. The Japanese government has set up a special high police section in the Japanese consulate police station in various parts of China occupied by its army, which is specifically responsible for espionage activities and intelligence activities invading China. The special high police section has 5 tasks. The first is to monitor the ideological trends of the Chinese and ban anti-Japanese words and deeds. The second is to collect intelligence and compile intelligence materials. The third is to destroy the anti-Japanese underground organization, detect, interrogate and deal with agents. The fourth is to monitor the words and deeds of pseudo-seniors. The fifth is to carry out activities such as subversion and inducement to surrender. Yoshiko Kawashima is a senior spy affiliated with the second section of the Special High Police Section. In addition, the Japanese gendarmerie also cooperated with it to set up a special high police section to handle counter-espionage business. The leader striker, Orange Xiaoming, was taken to the special high technology branch by Minami Yoko and conducted a 3-day investigation. As a result, Minami Yoko was very upset to find that the leader striker's loyalty was unquestionable, but he could not act at all. He could not do such a difficult job as a spy. If he was asked to go out on the field, he would definitely mess things up. But it would be a waste not to use such a loyal person. Because the leader striker's way of showing loyalty was very special. He took the initiative to apply for himself to be placed under 24-hour uninterrupted surveillance video. Even such private things as taking a bath and going to the toilet were willing to be exposed. At the same time, he was willing to never leave the special high technology branch. Completely eliminate the possibility of him passing on information to the outside. The noodle shop was left to the brothers and sisters of Fei Ying Suike. This density of surveillance is unbearable for anyone else. Even someone as fanatical as Minami Yoko can't do it. Such a life is really suffocating. Such a loyal Chinese, everyone in the special high technology branch felt it was a pity not to reuse him. If others knew about it, they would think that the special high technology department was blind. So, Minami Yoko arranged the leader to work in the confidential room, master the code book, and be responsible for the sending, receiving, translating, and delivering of telegrams and faxes. In this desperate way, Cheng Xiaoming locked himself in the ocean of confidential intelligence of the Japanese Special High Technology Department. The confidential room is also the department that other spy organizations watch the most closely and infiltrate the most. Although the confidential secretaries are very good at present, there is no guarantee that some intelligence will not be occasionally obtained one day. After all, some ways to obtain intelligence do not need to be stated explicitly, and can be obtained through some clues. I don't even know that I have leaked secrets. Only people like the leader who is willing to be monitored 24 hours a day and restricted in freedom can use it with complete confidence. Of course, the leader can't do so many things alone, and there are still other colleagues. The leader can also play a role in monitoring others. Don't say it, this method really works. Everyone else knows the existence of the perverted leader. They were both respectful and fearful of him, and were extremely cautious. Since Xiaoming came, no one except him leaked any secrets. However, the information Xiaoming leaked was more than 10 times more than what they had accidentally leaked before. They often took the blame. Of course, this was not 100% safe. Minami Yoko could use a piece of false information that only she knew to test the leader. Once this information was leaked, it could be confirmed that the leader was a spy. This method had a very high success rate. Later, she did this, and more than once. Even if you completely believe in the leader, it is necessary to conduct random checks from time to time. If Xiaoming was an ordinary person, he would have been exposed long ago. Fortunately, Xiaoming could see through all of Minami Yoko's tricks. He could easily pass the test every time. Moreover, at this time, other Xiaomings had successfully joined the underground organization in Yan'an. It was just right to pass the information over. Unexpectedly for Xiaoming, the underground organization in Yan'an did not choose the group of reincarnations of university students for development. It cannot be said that there are none at all. It is probably because they think that college students are rare talents and are also the targets of key surveillance by other spy organizations. So the pace of winning them over is very slow. The ones who were really absorbed into the organization were the two Shanghai underground gangsters, the right guard of the leader, Huang Xiaoming, and Zhang Ma. The cause of the incident was like this. One day, the underworld boss of the two underworld gangsters received a job. The requirements of this job were too high. After thinking about it, the boss found that only the two underworld gangsters could do it. So they set up a game and booked a private room in a high-end club for the other party to meet the two underworld gangsters. The guy who came was a super handsome guy. If it weren't for Zhang Ma supporting Xiaoming, his momentum would have been overshadowed by him. This person is one of the male protagonists of this world, the second of the three brothers of the Ming family, Ming Cheng. His brother Ming Lu is currently the chief financial advisor of the economic department of the Ministry of Finance of the Wang puppet government, deputy director of the Special Affairs Committee, and inspector general of the General Administration of Customs of the new government. He is the direct superior of number 76. Ming Cheng served as the director of his brother's secretariat and also served as the housekeeper of Ming Mansion. It was said that he was not a biological child of the Ming family, but was adopted. He came to the Wolf and embarrassed twins to ask them to be his secret bodyguards. However, the person to be protected was neither Ming Lu nor Ming Cheng, but their eldest sister Ming Jing. Ming Jing is the chairman of Shanghai Ming Enterprises, and she is actually in charge of the Ming family's business. It is reasonable for the younger brother to help his sister find a bodyguard. The gangster boss thought that Ming Enterprises alone was not something he could easily provoke, let alone the high-ranking officials of the Wang puppet government. It would be as easy to crush him as to crush an ant. This job must be done beautifully even if there is no benefit. But look at these ugly men under his command, how can they do such a thing? What if they accidentally scare Ming Jing? At that time, all the credit will be gone. It would be strange if Ming Lu didn't burn his own people to death. Only wise and brave men like the wolf-embarrassed twins can do it. When the two sides met, Xiaoming knew at the first sight of Ming Cheng that this guy originally wanted the two of them to take on this task. Although the other party pretended that it was the first time they met and put on the arrogance of a high-ranking official, Xiaoming could not hide his inner fluctuations. Ming Cheng had already found out the background of the leader's right guard and Kangma, and thought that they were the most suitable candidates for bodyguards. The reason why he didn't directly appoint them was just to give their boss some face. If the boss recommended someone else, Ming Cheng would directly express his dislike until the embarrassed twins appeared. The safety of the eldest sister is something that cannot be ignored. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 1293. You two are the famous two evil men in embarrassment. It's a pleasure to meet you. Ming Cheng took the initiative to reach out and shook hands with the leader's right guard, Huang Xiaoming, and Karama respectively. There was a hint of arrogance in the intimacy, which was in line with his personality as a senior government official. There is no reason for a high-ranking official to be so close to two gangsters. The superficial intimacy is naturally due to something that needs to be done. Subconsciously, I probably still look down on the two of them. But on a deeper level, Ming Cheng is also carefully observing the Karama duo. According to the informants in the gang, the two evil men were not only good at fighting, but also had brains. They almost never fell into traps. Fights among gangsters are common, but it is very difficult to never fall into a trap. This shows how resourceful that Karama is. This is actually because of the high regard for Karama. They did not fall into the trap, and more importantly, it was because of Huang Xiaoming's mind-reading ability. It's almost a superpower. When a trap is set, there will always be someone responsible for looking out and intercepting it. Xiaoming can see the problem at a glance. What other traps could work? Unless you know what your superpower is in advance, you can make targeted arrangements. But who in their brains can think of superpowers? Being brave and resourceful is not enough. Ming Chen, or rather his eldest brother Ming Lu, is interested in the two men's principle of there is a way to steal. The two of them never bullied good people, never bought or sold by force, and it was obvious that they were not very fond of Japanese people. It is more appropriate for such a person to protect his sister. And you can also observe it nearby to see if it can be used for yourself. As for money, the Ming brothers have plenty of it. Ming Chen winked at the embarrassed eldest brother, and the boss immediately nodded and bowed out. Before leaving, he winked at the leader's right guard and the others desperately. It is nothing more than asking the two of them to serve this uncle well. The leader's right guard said carelessly, "Sir Ming, you are here because you are here to give face to our brothers. We are both very loyal, so if you have anything to say, please speak up. I will take care of it and take care of it for you." Seeing that Ming Cheng seemed a little confused, Kurama continued, "Mr. Ming doesn't know something. The character of your boss Ming of Ming's enterprise is this." Kurama gave a thumbs up. "Many of our brothers work with the Ming family to earn a living. Boss Ming never looks down on our brothers, and will give an extra $2 to those who are in trouble. We brothers have always been looking forward to repaying the favor." N.A. When Kurama said this, Ming Cheng understood. The so-called underworld in Shanghai is actually a group of low-level hard-working people gathered together and twisted into a rope to strive for benefits. For example, those who pull rickshaws, those who unload goods at the dock, those who transport goods back and forth in the city. These people have a low status, have no guarantee of life, and generally have a lot of strength. In order to survive, they had to huddle together for warmth. Then it gradually transformed into the nature of the underworld. Those big brothers who take the lead have these coolies under their control and take the opportunity to make a lot of money. Then they invested in various industries, made more money, and became capitalists one after another. The coolies at the bottom are still coolies, and their lives are actually not much better than before. The two men in embarrassment also manage a group of coolies, who often work for major merchants. Ming's enterprise is also one of the bosses. The eldest sister Ming Jing, the chairman of Ming's enterprise, is a businessman who loves the country and the people, and takes great care of the lower-class workers. Not only will the wages be high, but the construction period will not be particularly harsh either. Naturally, the favorability of the coolies was increased. Ming Cheng had never thought of this before, and he couldn't help but feel happy at this moment. Now it would be easier to ask them to protect his eldest sister. Moreover, with this relationship, there is no need to put on airs. He put a smile on his face and said, "This is great. To tell you the truth, I just asked you to protect my eldest sister, Chairman Ming, no. Boss Ming." "What?" When the leader's right guard heard this, he jumped up immediately. "Is someone trying to harm Boss Ming? TNND doesn't want to live anymore." As he spoke, he patted his chest and said loudly, "Sir Ming, tell me who that guy is, and we will do it now." He extended his hand to Ming Cheng again. "Don't worry, our brother's hands and feet are guaranteed to be clean. Even if we are caught, we will not affect the Ming family." "Brother, what do you mean by that?" The last question was asked by Kurama, who smiled and said, "If you receive a drop of kindness from someone, you should repay it with a spring of water." The right guard nodded and said, "Yes, that's it. We are willing to stab Boss Ming in every possible way. I am the grandson." Kurama smiled and said to Ming Cheng, "Sir Ming, my eldest brother is harsh in his words. If you defend for a long time, you will lose. If someone wants to harm Boss Ming, it is better to kill the enemy. It's okay to always be on guard, there's no guarantee that something will not go wrong. It is true that our brothers have clean hands and feet, and they will never implicate the Ming family. Otherwise, would you consider it? Omega, Ming Chen's head is full of black lines, and the baby is feeling miserable, and the baby can't express it. If it were so easy, there would be no need to find the underworld. With the strength Ming Lu has, he can easily get it done. The real problem is more complex. Ming Lu himself has 3 identities. On the surface, he is the chief financial advisor of the economic department of the Ministry of Finance of Wang Puppet Government, deputy director of the Special Task Committee, and inspector general of the General Administration of Customs of the new government. Behind the scenes, he is also the colonel and section chief of the intelligence section of the Chongqing Front Military Command Shanghai Station, codenamed Viper. His true identity is the leader of the Shanghai intelligence group of the Yan'an Underground Party, codenamed Cobra. In the final analysis, he is still from Yan'an. The other 2 identities are just vests. The same goes for Ming Cheng. Recently, Ming Lu discovered that his elder sister Ming Jing was actually a red capitalist. Although she did not formally join the Yan'an side, she has been providing various assistance to Yan'an. This is a good thing, brothers and sisters have the same position, how good. But the problem is that Ming Jing has a bad temper and has no underground work experience. If she is not careful, she may be exposed. So the Ming brothers are very worried about their elder sister. Ming Lu ordered Ming Cheng to secretly send someone to protect her. But who should he send? Sending people from the Wang puppet government or Chongqing, wouldn't that be a trap for his sister? He might also be exposed. Sending people from Yan'an is not a good idea either. Good steel should be used on the blade. The organization is originally short of manpower. For this kind of thing, sending too few people will not be effective, sending too many people will delay the normal spy work, right? In fact, this is exactly the case. In the original book, Ming Cheng could only send a few people to monitor his elder sister. Ming Jing was caught by number 76 during a transaction and was almost finished. The people of Ming Cheng faction could only quickly inform the public, but could not resolve the crisis in advance. This is the disadvantage of insufficient manpower. Although the Ming brothers made a big fuss at number 76 and rescued their sister, Ming Jing was still targeted by number 76. Later, they encountered crises several times and finally managed to escape danger. In this life, they found the right person, the 2 evil spirits. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhenshen. Chapter 1294. Ming Cheng doesn't know the principle of striking first to gain the upper hand. If you kill the enemy, your own people will be safe. But who is the enemy of the eldest sister Ming Jing? That is number 76 of Japanese Special High-Tech and Wang Puppet Government, which is the Japanese government and Wang Puppet regime. These enemies are endless. If you kill one, 2 new ones will be added. Problems cannot be solved by killing people. Even the Ming brothers knew their original enemies and knew how to deal with them. Bringing in a few new people would be even more troublesome. Those who engage in espionage work cannot kill people casually, as doing so will alert the enemy. The whole of Shanghai was in a state of panic, and everything was covered with soldiers. How else to get information? Ming Cheng thought for a while, put on a mysterious expression, and said, "I want to tell you too what I'm thinking. This must not be known to the 4th person. If you don't want to hear it, you can leave now. Ming will never force anyone to do anything. This move of retreating into advancing is really beautiful." The leader's right guard, Huang Xiaoming, made a grimace and gestured toward the door. "My eldest brother can't know." Ming Chen nodded solemnly. "I said in my heart, this is not nonsense, it would be weird if that weakling could keep the secret." The leader's right guard and Karamo looked at each other for a while. Kurama turned to Ming Cheng and said, "Sir Ming, it is our long-cherished wish to repay the kindness of the Ming family. We can keep it a secret." Ming Cheng had known this would happen, clasped his fists and said, "Happy. I won't say much else. From now on, you two are my brothers, Ming Cheng. My elder brother has entrusted my sister's life to my two younger brothers." Seeing that the two of them seemed to be refusing, Ming Cheng said first, "You are my brother, and I dare to trust you with my family's life. If you two talk nonsense that is beyond your reach, then forget it." Speaking of this, Xiao Ming and Kurama had no choice but to bow down. "Brother Ming Cheng, please be escorted by the right hand of my younger brother, Kurama." The three of them actually followed the example of the three brothers Lu, Guan, and Zhang. "I vow not to be born in the same year, the same month and the same day, but to die in the same year, the same month and the same day." After that, the three of them immediately got along much more harmoniously, and their conversations didn't have to be so roundabout. In fact, the three of them are not close brothers at this time, they all have their own little Jeju in their hearts. Ming Cheng used this method to win over the two heroes. He thinks this is what people in the underworld do. He was probably half truth and half false about his sworn vows. The sincere part is because Ming Cheng really values the character and abilities of the two evil spirits, and sincerely wants to develop them into one of his own. The false half is that even though Ming Cheng has paid his respects, it is impossible for Ming Cheng to tell these two people his multiple true identities, so he still has to have reservations. This was also about each other, and Xiao Ming did not tell his new big brother all the cards he and Kurama had. After accompanying Ming Cheng in acting for a while, he has already understood some of Ming Cheng's tendencies, but it is not comprehensive yet and he needs to continue to collect intelligence. "Brothers, that's it. My eldest sister, how should I put it, she particularly looks down on the Japanese and the Nanjing government." Xiao Ming slapped the table. "Great, I don't like little devils and traitors either." Kurama quickly stepped on Xiao Ming and winked. Xiao Ming immediately awoke and quickly made amends. "Brother, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about that. Brother, why do you want to help the little devil?" Epsilon equals Omicron asterisk. Alas, Ming Cheng sighed, "Brothers, I swear to God, I am in CAO's camp and my heart is in Han. I bear the humiliation and bear the burden. You say, if I am not qualified as an official, there will be traitors who want to take the position. If those people are allowed to take office, will we ordinary people still have a good life? Only if I become this official can I make the people's lives a little better." Kurama nodded. "Based on Boss Ming's character, we trust Big Brother. Tell me, what does Big Brother want us to do?" "Oh, that's right. Didn't I just say that my eldest sister hates Japanese people? So she often does business with Chongqing. Some businesses are quite sensitive. I'm worried that she will be deceived, and it will be terrible if she is framed by number 76 or Dongying High Tech. So that's why we need to protect Boss Ming." Kurama snapped his fingers and said, "Roger. Understood. In this case, secret protection alone may not be enough. We need to know Boss Ming's itinerary in advance so that we can send someone to visit the place in advance." "Yes, Sir Ming, I still need your help with this matter." With that said, Kurama explained his thoughts to Ming Cheng. It is estimated that the boss of Der Spiegel will not talk about his whereabouts casually, or even tell his family. She has to go to many places in person. But it's impossible for Ming Jing to walk there, so he always needs a means of transportation. Either your own driver will drive you there, or you will have to take a human-pulled rickshaw, or take a taxi. My own driver, Minglu, can definitely control and deliver the message. If it were to do something secretive, Ming Jing would probably not use his own car and driver. What the embarrassed Chuangsha has to do is to make sure that all the cars that Ming Jing can ride on, whether it is a rickshaw or a rickshaw, are all owned by him. I, as a group of people, surrounded Ming Jing. As long as you know where Ming Jing is going, you can send people to investigate in advance. Once you find that the situation is not good, you must use various methods to prevent Ming Jing from going there. For example, there is a problem with the car, the driver goes the wrong way and misses the time. Or arrange for several people to whisper to each other near the mirror, reminding her that agents are nearby. If it doesn't work, you can also arrange for people to clash with the spies and let them expose themselves. Wait, the underworld is an expert in this regard, and all kinds of insidious tricks emerge in an endless stream. But there is a problem. There are many coolies under Xiao Ming and Zhang Ma who pull carts, but none of them can drive cars. This requires Ming Chen's help. Transfer a few cars, and then arrange for people to teach the subordinates of the two evil spirits to drive. They don't need to be taught, they have learned it long ago. Ming Chen is very satisfied with Zhang Ma's arrangement. After all, it is the best way to prevent trouble before it happens and let the eldest sister not know that she is being protected. After all, once Ming Jing is discovered, it is almost impossible to kill all those spies. It would be bad if she was noticed by number 76 or the Special High Technology Department. Even if people can be rescued, there will still be endless troubles. This is what Minglu and Ming Chen are most worried about. Now it seems that the two evil spirits are really worthy of their reputation. The plan arranged in a moment is very good. Ming Chen feels that he really chose the right person. There are many people who can fight in the underworld, but few have brains. Moreover, Ming Chen can help secretly. After all, the organization in Yan'an is led by the two brothers. He can know in advance where Ming Jing will go during the secret operation. Then he can tell the two new brothers in some way without anyone knowing. Make the protection work more perfect. The three brothers talked a lot that day, started to act the next day, and continued to improve the plan afterwards. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 1295. 2 days later, in Suzhou, Chairman Ming Jing walked elegantly in an alley. Not far away, Zhang Ma and the leader's right guard, Huang Xiaoming, followed quietly. There were more than a dozen people scattered around. This matter was entrusted by Ming Chen before he left. At this time, Minglu had just arrived in Shanghai and was under surveillance. He had not yet met Uncle Li, the person in charge of the Yan'an Underground Party's anti-espionage group. Ming Jing had already contacted Uncle Li, and this time he came to Suzhou to help Uncle Li buy explosives on the underground black market. If Minglu and Ming Chen knew about this kind of thing, they would definitely not let Ming Jing take risks. Similarly, Uncle Li didn't know that Ming Jing's brother was his immediate superior. Apart from anything else, once Ming Jing had a problem, Minglu would definitely be implicated. Uncle Li couldn't cheat his boss. This is how underground work is. The less you know about your true identity, the better. But it is also easy to make such mistakes. This is a coincidence in time. If Minglu had contacted Uncle Li earlier, the subsequent events would not have happened. The Ming brothers thought that the eldest sister went to Suzhou for a serious business. So they notified the Wolf twins to follow and protect her secretly. Xiao Ming and Zhang Ma brought more than a dozen people and quietly followed Ming Jing to Suzhou. This person was unfamiliar with the place, and Ming Chen was a little worried that the Wolf twins would not be able to handle it. His idea was not unreasonable. After all, it was not easy for the Shanghai gangs to act in Suzhou, and they could not openly rob the rickshaw business here. It would be more difficult to track them. But Ming Chen had no idea that the rickshaw drivers, cars, and drivers were just a trick of the leader's right guard. If Xiao Ming wanted to find out where others were going, he could read their minds directly. In this world where there is almost no supernatural energy, reading minds is indeed much more difficult, but as long as you spend more time and mention a few key questions, you can get the answers you want. You must know that Ming Chen talked with the Wolf twins for a long time that day, and Xiao Ming had already figured out his background. It's really a pain to find something. Xiaoming had always wanted to find Yannan's underground organization in Shanghai, but the second in command of the organization found him directly. What a fate. After following Ming Jing for a while, she deliberately asked someone to pass by her while chatting, talking about topics such as purpose and destination, and she naturally thought of her own affairs. In fact, even if she didn't arrange anyone to do this, she had been thinking over and over again about what she wanted to do and considering how to deal with various things. After Xiaoming read the key information, he left Zhang Ma to follow Ming Jing, and took a few people with him to quickly check near her destination Suzhou Antique Shop. This antique shop is not an underground organization in Yan'an, but just a black market, but the people there are not small, and they actually run a business of explosives. Uncle Li's people made an appointment with the store owner, and sent someone to come at around 3 p.m. to exchange money and goods. Unexpectedly, this store had another business this morning. It was someone from Chongqing who came to buy explosives. As a result, he was caught by a special agent team from number 76. People who came from Chongqing to buy goods were also arrested by them, and they have sent someone to Shanghai for interrogation. At present, this team of agents has not left. Because they learned from the clerk of the antique shop that there is another business at 3 p.m. They are very happy, and there is a buy one get one free offer. So they decided to wait here and catch the turtle in the jar. Several agents outside the antique shop disguised themselves as various idle people and secretly controlled every important road. They watched the people coming and going in a hidden and vigilant manner. Xiaoming likes this kind of highly concentrated people the most. What they think in their minds is very clear, and the reading process is also easy. One of them disguised himself as a leather shoe shiner, and Xiaoming just went over to let him shine his shoes. Read the mind at close range. In order not to be exposed, the buddy polished his shoes very well, and he really used a lot of shoe polish. Xiaoming really wanted to tell him that your polishing method is too oily. Which shoe shiner is willing to use so much oil? Shoe polishing also requires skills. You have to remove the dirt first, then the mud, and then oil and wax to prevent peeling. Forget it, this is too professional and he can't master it. I polished your shoes, boss, are you satisfied? If not, I'll polish them for you again. The agent said while flattering, and praised himself in his heart, our acting skills are amazing. Why doesn't number 76 get the best performance award? Brother deserves it. Tisk tisk tisk, not bad, not bad. Xiaoming nodded with a smile on his face and said, Master, your craftsmanship is so good. Here, the money is for you, no need to change. Hey, where do you usually work? Is it here? I'll go back to promote you, and relatives and friends who want to polish shoes will come to you in the future. I guarantee you will make a fortune. Oh, how can I be so embarrassed? Thank you, boss. The agent smiled on his face, an MMP in his heart. He didn't know whether to be happy or angry. People praised his craftsmanship politely and gave him a lot more money. He should be happy if he doesn't hit a smiling person. But he is a secret agent. What's the difference between this little shoe shine fee? This guy wants to help him get work. Who is he looking down on? He even asked where he worked. I work at number 76, do you dare to go? Watching his extremely chaotic mental activities, Xiaoming felt a kind of evil pleasure. But there is no time to entangle, it is important to stop Ming Jing quickly. It is best to make her not appear in the sight of the secret agent at all. Boss, take care, come often in the future. Xiaoming walked away from another direction with the friendly greeting of the secret agent. A few minutes later, Ming Jing heard this conversation as he walked past several rickshaw drivers resting on the street. Brother Li, you don't look very well. What happened? Did you sprain your ankle while pulling a cart? Hey, don't mention it. I just saw a group of people raiding the Suzhou antique shop. Even the boss was killed. I was scared to death. I took a detour back. Oh, that shop is a black shop. The business is indeed a bit shady. It was raided. But how could they kill people? Who is so fierce? I heard that the antique shop also has a backstage, and the police dare not intervene. Who knows, there are more than 10 people, and none of them are wearing police uniforms or military uniforms. I saw that they all had guns on their waists and they haven't left yet. Just wait and see, something will definitely happen. MD, what a shitty world, brothers, be careful, these 2 days, don't take any work going there. Don't risk your life for a little money. That's right, that's right. Brother Wang is still knowledgeable, several people echoed. Ming Jing is the chairman of Ming's enterprise and is quite alert. Upon hearing this, she immediately stopped and pretended to enjoy the scenery. She pondered for a while, then walked over to Brother Li and said, "My dear brother, is there any good restaurant nearby? Would you like to go there? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 1296. Ms. Mingjing hired Brother Li's rickshaw. On the one hand, she planned to use a legitimate excuse to quickly leave this place of trouble. No matter who raided the antique shop, it would definitely not be a good thing for them to see her here. On the other hand, she also became a little suspicious of these rickshaw drivers. How could it be such a coincidence that when she could hear them chatting, they happened to talk about something that was closely related to her? Along the way, Mingjing used various methods to get Brother Li's words, but only learned some details of No 70 SIXS raid on the antique shop. But she did not find anything suspicious about Brother Li. The people sent by Xiaoming to do the work were all very alert people, and Mingjing had insufficient experience in underground work. Brother Li could still deal with them. When the car arrived, Mingjing gave Brother Li a few more money, saying that she was treating Brother Li to a drink. In fact, it was a thank you. The life-saving grace could not be compensated by a little money, but she did not dare to give too much, which would arouse suspicion. Afterwards, Mingjing had afternoon tea at the restaurant and returned to Shanghai. The group of the Wolf twins naturally followed them back. That night, Xiaoming quietly reported what happened in the antique shop to Ming Cheng. After hearing this, Ming Cheng broke out in a cold sweat and quickly expressed his sincere gratitude to the Wolf twins. He didn't know that in the original book, he and his elder brother would have become famous for this incident. Ming Jing would have been caught by the people from number 76 in the antique shop. The people he sent to monitor his elder sister also quickly sent the news to Ming Cheng's ears. Therefore, Ming Jing was intercepted by Ming Cheng just after being escorted to the door of number 76. Chen Liang, who led the team to arrest people, was also hit by Ming Cheng with a beautiful combination of punches. So handsome. Afterwards, Ming Jing scolded Ming Lu for Ming Cheng sending people to monitor her. As a result, Ming Lu rushed to number 76 and shot Chen Liang. These two sister control are really amazing. Ming Jing has always disliked his brother for being a traitor and working for the Wang puppet government. After this incident, Ming Lu had to tell his sister that he was from the Chongqing government, to ease the tension between the siblings. As a result, Xiaoming's secret interference ruined the opportunity for the two brothers to show off. Of course, showing off is fun for a while, but it will be a disaster afterwards. Because of this incident, Ming Jing was completely targeted by number 76. In the future, the people of the Ming family will be in danger many times because of this. If the two knew what would happen in the future, they would only be more grateful to the two evil spirits. Moreover, after Ming Lu learned about the incident, he was more optimistic about the leader's right guard, Huang Xiaoming, and Zhang Ma. They are brave, resourceful, and strong enough. After discussing with Ming Lu and Ming Cheng, they decided that Ming Cheng would recruit the two evil spirits into his team. Xiao Ming and the others agreed immediately. Ming Cheng did not show the sign of Yan'an or Chongqing. In name, he asked his two brothers to do private work for him. However, since Minglu's true identity is the highest person in charge of Yan'an in Shanghai, the system assumes that Ming Jing team has completed the main task 1 and officially joined the Yan'an forces. With the joining of the group of the Wolf and the Evil, Minglu has another available force in addition to Ming Tai's Scorpion team and Uncle Li's anti-espionage team. Of course, this force is not a trained agent, and what it can do is not quite the same as the other two teams. Every man has his own strengths and weaknesses. The first task of the Wolf and the Evil team is to get enough explosives within 2 days. At the same time, this is also the main task 2 of Ming Jing team. Minglu thinks that people who are mixed in the underworld must have connections with the black market, and there may be some ways. So Ming Cheng was arranged to come and test it. In the original book, Minglu revealed his identity in Chongqing, and then conspired with his sister Ming Jing to get the explosives. But this time the sister was not in danger, and under Minglu's operation in the future, the possibility of Ming Jing being exposed will be smaller. So Minglu does not need to confront his sister. After all, Ming Jing really lacked experience in underground work, and was easily impulsive. The less he knew, the safer he was. So how to get explosives became a big problem. Because Ming Lu planned to blow up a Sakura train full of traitors and Japanese devils. A certain amount of explosives was needed. Explosives? Brother, I remember that Ming's enterprise is a mining company, and your family has explosives. You don't need me to get it, right? Although Xiao Ming knew the answer to this question, he had to ask it. Sure enough, Ming Cheng glared and said angrily, "Nonsense, if the Ming family's explosives can be used, I still need to find you. This is the time to see your ability. Can you do it? Give me a straight answer." It's no wonder he was anxious. Time is tight and the task is heavy. If the two evil spirits can't do it, they have to think of other ways quickly. Xiao Ming and Zhang Ma smiled at each other and said to Ming Cheng, "Don't worry, brother. It's really a coincidence. Come with me." As the three of them got in the car, Zhang Ma drove to a hidden house. In the secret cellar of this residential building, there is a large amount of explosives and even some munitions. Ming Cheng was stunned when he saw it. Well, are the underworld in Shanghai so rampant now? Even the underground organizations in Yan'an and Chongqing don't have so many explosives. Looking at the munitions, it seems that they can't compare. Ming Cheng is a little jealous. How can the two evil spirits get these things? If he doesn't ask this question clearly, Ming Cheng feels that he will not be able to sleep well tonight. Brother, a dragon has its own gate, and a mouse has its own path. We have arranged an insider with the Japanese, and these are all stolen from them. Take as many as you want today. Xiao Ming did not lie to Ming Cheng, and he told the truth. Since the leader Vanguard infiltrated the Special High Technology Department, Minami Yoko would not hide any secrets from him. For example, the location of the large and small arsenals in Japan, the routes, times, and passwords of the patrol shift personnel, etc., Xiao Ming knew them all. And because the leader Vanguard was Japanese, Xiao Ming naturally mastered the Japanese language. If you want to steal something, don't make it too easy. Although they had not joined the Yan'an organization at that time, it is better to be prepared. Under the advice of Zhang Ma, Huang Xiaoming and Zhang Ma stole a lot of arms and copied a lot of confidential documents. This place is just one of the places to stock up. There are several more places like this for the two wolf demons. Ming Cheng stroked his forehead speechlessly. The abilities of these two younger brothers were a little beyond his imagination. Next, the matter of blowing up the Sakura train may have to be rearranged. If the two evil spirits can deal with the Sakura, there will be no need for the Scorpion Squad and the Anti-Traitor Squad to take risks. However, Ming Lu must make the final decision on this matter. Second brother and third brother, you should impress the eldest brother. Let's put the explosives here first, and wait for my news. Okay, eldest brother Huang Xiaoming answered happily, because he had learned from other Xiaomings that the main task 2 was completed. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 1297. The next day, Ming Cheng met with the two evil spirits again. He helped the reincarnation space release the main task 3, stealing top secret documents and blowing up the Sakura train. Second brother, third brother, this matter is very difficult, I need to discuss it with you, Ming Cheng said with some embarrassment. The leader's right guard, Huang Xiaoming, was naturally heroic. We brothers don't need to be polite, big brother, you can say whatever you want. Go through the knife mountain and the oil pot, and die without hesitation. Well, brother will not hide it. You may not know that in a few days, the Wang puppet government will hold a peace conference in Nanjing. There are many traitors and high-ranking officials of the Japanese devils in Shanghai who will take the Sakura train. We want explosives just to blow up this train. Hearing this, Huang Xiaoming cheered loudly, great. It's great. I knew I was right about Brother Ming, you are really a good man. This matter is up to us. If you don't let us brothers go, I will be angry with you. Ming Chen was deeply relieved. He endured humiliation for so long, was looked down upon by his elder sister at home, and countless people called him a traitor behind his back. It was still very heartwarming to hear such a sentence. He quickly comforted him, second brother, don't be impulsive. This Sakura must be blown up, but there is a confidential document from Japan on the train, and we have to steal it in advance. Document? What document? Do we have to send someone on the train? That's a bit difficult. Kurama deliberately hesitated. We plan to plant bombs on the rails, not on the train. It's about the Japanese Devil's Army and the deployment of troops in some war zones. I don't need to tell you how important this thing is. Hey, what did I think it was? Big brother, you should have told me earlier. Xiaoming laughed. Third brother, did you bring the things? I can't forget it. You think I'm you? As he said that, Kurama opened his backpack and took out dozens of papers full of words. A paragraph of Japanese characters and a paragraph of Chinese characters were arranged alternately. Kurama handed it to Ming Cheng, who quickly took it, but didn't have much hope. Because these papers are not documents, and obviously not in the format of formal documents, it seems that they should be handwritten by the second and third brothers. Can this thing be trusted? If it were someone else, Ming Cheng would have thrown the document back at the other person's face. However, considering the performance of the two evil spirits when they rescued their eldest sister, as well as the explosives and munitions, Ming Cheng still took it seriously and read it carefully. After reading only the first paragraph, I knew there was something going on. After all, among the Chinese, there are very few people who can master the Japanese language. The wording and sentence structure of this extremely standardized Japanese document, let alone ordinary people, even I can only understand and see the doorway, but it is impossible for Ming Cheng to forge such a thing. It is precisely because he can see these doorways that Ming Cheng thinks that this is copied from the original document. So he focused more, and the more he read, the more frightened he became. Originally, Yan'an only needed the deployment of troops in some war zones related to his own troops. He did not intend to worry about Chongqing. He was even less interested in the deployment of Japanese troops in Southeast Asia and the Pacific battlefield. However, the documents that Zhang Ma gave him not only had detailed deployments on the Chinese battlefield, but also included a little intelligence on other battlefields. These things are not urgent for Yan'an. But it would be great to take them out and exchange some intelligence or interests with Chongqing, or even Britain and the United States. Documents with such details are almost impossible to be fake. Of course, Yan'an cannot completely believe them and will conduct verification and testing accordingly. This is very common in intelligence work. Because even if the stolen documents are original, it is not certain whether the other party has made a fake to deceive people. It must be checked. Ming Cheng showed a very serious expression. Staring straight into the eyes of the leader's right guard and Zhang Ma, he asked word by word. It's not that I don't trust you two brothers, this matter is related to the lives of millions of troops and tens of millions of people. Big brother can't be careless. Please tell me, how did you get this information? The leader's right guard looked at Zhang Ma beside him, and Zhang Ma nodded to him solemnly. Just now he sighed. Big brother, this matter is indeed of great importance. I can tell you, but you can't tell anyone else. Ming Chen nodded solemnly to agree. Xiao Ming then said something that shocked him. In fact, Xiao Ming and Zhang Ma's hesitation just now was just acting. They had been planning to show their cards to Ming Chen today. The main reason was that the ability of Xiao Ming to communicate with each other was too strong. If they always fought so little, it would be a waste. So, we had to find a way to confess to Yan'an. If he could be accepted, Xiao Ming would not only help Yan'an win, but also continue to help for a while after the founding of the People's Republic of China. The explanation that Xiao Ming and Zhang Ma agreed on was this. 10 years ago, there was such a powerful mission Taoist priest who adopted several children. This Taoist priest was a real master. He watched the invasion of Japan and the suffering of the people in China. He couldn't just sit back and watch. It was just that his little Taoist skills, even if used on the battlefield, could not withstand machine guns and cannons, not to mention airplanes and tanks. So, he exhausted all his skills and magic weapons to link the minds of several grown-up children together. They will always be connected to each other. The Taoist adopted many children, but only 4 of them could truly communicate with him spiritually. In addition, the soul of one of the 4 people was also taken over by the Taoist priest using Taoist magic to take the body of a real Japanese and absorb the other party's memory. After doing this, the Taoist priest also turned into ashes under the thunder. Before he died, he told the children to use this special ability to contribute to China. So these children came to Shanghai in several groups. They infiltrated different departments. The most important thing is to infiltrate the Japanese. Recently, the infiltration was finally successful. Those explosives, munitions, and these top-secret documents were all obtained in this way. This is a method that Xiao Ming and Kang Ma thought of to expose their special abilities. I just don't know if Ming Cheng and the organization behind him can accept it. After listening to his second brother's words, Ming Cheng felt that his brain was a little insufficient. I have little education, don't lie to me. Is there any such thing in the world? On the other hand, if it weren't for this miraculous reason, it seems that there is no way to explain the excellent performance of the embarrassed twins. But as a comrade from the Yan'an organization, he found it hard to believe such a thing. For a moment, he didn't know what to say. Please let me take my time. This matter is really. I understand. I am one of the children adopted by the mission Taoist priests. Zhang Ma is also one of them, but he doesn't have telepathy. Xiao Ming continued to describe it for a few more sentences, then shut up and waited for his brother's decision. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 1298. In the end, Ming Cheng still chose to believe the leader's right guard, Huang Xiaoming, and Zhang Ma. In the middle, at least half of the credit belongs to the reincarnation space. In fact, from the perspective of the Ming brothers. In the face of such a supernatural thing, the correct way is to put it aside for the time being. You can't believe it immediately. Stealing documents and blowing up the train are more urgent. In order to prevent accidents, They should be completed by the originally planned Scorpion team and the anti-traitor team. As for the matter of the embarrassed two evils, it is actually more important. Minglu and Ming Cheng should first carefully verify it, and then consider how to put it into use. But the problem is that the reincarnation space wants to send the task of the Sakura train to the Ming Jing team as the mainline task 3. According to common sense, the Ming Jing team also has to get on the train and cooperate with the two teams arranged by Minglu to complete the task together. However, the leader's right guard proposed another plan on behalf of the Ming Jing team. The documents have been obtained, and no one needs to get on the train. Just blow it up and it's done. At this time, the space should either give the task to the Ming Jing team or arrange another task. According to the evaluation procedure of the space, the team completed the first two main tasks well, especially the second task, the task of making explosives. The completion rate was super high. So the space believed that the Ming Jing team had the conditions to complete the task of blowing up the Sakura alone, so Ming Cheng chose to believe the wolf and the devil. In other words, this time the mission of the Sakura was also a test of the ability of the wolf and the devil by the Ming brothers. If what the leader's right guard said was true, there are several people who are in tune with each other, and one of them has even penetrated into the interior of Japan. Then, the importance of this matter is far greater than a mere document, or the lives of dozens of traitors and invaders. It can be said that it is a divine artifact given to China by God. Ming Cheng felt that he could take this risk. He has always listened to Minglu's words and rarely made decisions on his own. Today, he finally stood up and made a decision directly. The task of blowing up the Sakura was fully entrusted to the wolf and the devil. All the people from Yan'an and Chongqing were withdrawn, leaving no one behind. On the way back to the Ming family mansion, Ming Cheng was quite nervous. It was a relief to make a decisive decision just now, but I don't know if my elder brother will agree. He hugged the bag of top-secret documents, hoping that these documents would make Minglu understand the reason for his decision. Two flowers bloom, each showing its own beauty. Since receiving the main task 3, the Ming Jing team used the telepathic ability of several Xiaomings to start a meeting. Let's also take a look at the progress of the other groups besides Huang Xiaoming's underworld group and Cheng Xiaoming's Japanese group. First, there are Yuji and Guangan Zhaozhu, the leader guard, Hong Xiaoming, and the follower Xiajia, who are low-level civil servants in the Wang puppet government. Since Minglu served as a senior official in the Wang puppet government, Ming Cheng took advantage of the convenience of government work and joined forces with Liang Zhongchun, the director of the operations department of number 76, to engage in smuggling business and make a lot of money. The dividends he received were naturally invested in the cause of resisting Japan and supporting Yan'an. Zhao Zhuzhu, the leader guard, and Xiajia happened to be familiar with Liang Zhongchun. So the three of them also got a little bit of soup in this matter. After all, Ming Cheng can't be the one to deal with everything in person, that would be too cheap. There must be someone to help with things. The three of them are the most suitable candidates. Because of frequent contact with Liang Zhongchun, he also learned a lot of secrets of number 76 through induction. Of course, it is still a long way to join number 76. Liang Zhongchun didn't want to recruit them into number 76 openly. He just wanted to trick these three people into being his insider next to Ming Cheng. So he has been in contact with the three of them quite frequently recently. Unfortunately, the main task 3 has been arranged. This line is not used for the time being. Some people may think that Huang Xiaoming, the right guard of the leader, and Hong Xiaoming, the guard of the leader, look basically the same, and their names are so similar. Why didn't Ming Cheng, such a smart person, suspect them? This is the result of the space cleaning up the reincarnation. The names of reincarnations are all kinds of strange. Xiaoming is considered a good one. There are all kinds of names for Shen Jingbing. The space must be protected in this regard. In fact, it is not just a matter of name. The language habits, personal habits, and attitudes of the reincarnators are generally very different from those of the people in the mission world. If the space is not protected, it is hard to say whether the reincarnators can survive the first 3 episodes. Not to mention completing the mission. Of course, Xiaoming also took some makeup measures, so that the Xiaomings do not look so similar. Then look at the Kraken who runs the tea house and the leader's left guard, Green Xiaoming. Chongqing has noticed them a long time ago. Chongqing arranged the Scorpion squad in Shanghai, and the captain Mingtai is the Scorpion. He is also the younger brother of Minglu and Ming Cheng. He has 2 subordinates, Yu Manli and Guo Qiu. Yu Manli is very skilled and has a very tacit understanding with Mingtai, so she has been working with Mingtai. Guo Qiu is Mingtai's adjutant, responsible for contacting superiors and arranging various logistical matters. Occasionally, he will do things. His skills are quite good. Although they are deserters, the war was so bad that there were deserters everywhere, and it was not the fault of ordinary soldiers. Guo Qiun felt that these 2 people could be used. He had come to the tea house many times in the past few days. When chatting with Xiaoming and the others, he would quietly test the 2 people's character. It is estimated that he will formally propose recruitment soon. However, in the past 2 days, the Scorpion team has been extremely busy with matters related to the Sakura. Guo Qiun didn't have time to recruit 2 new people. Finally, let's talk about the college student team with the largest number of people. In this team are the leader's sister, Lu Xiaojing, the leader, Yin Xiaoming, the young leader, Xiao Xiao'er, and the followers Xiao Hong and Xiao Lu. Even though they have the most people, their progress is the slowest. All the main tasks were handed over to the captain Xiaoming. The leader's sister, on the other hand, was fine and light-hearted. In the history of Pangustar, it is no longer possible to have a historical period like the Republic of China, so Xiao Jing'er is very interested in this world and everything she sees is new. I have been experiencing this era in all aspects. The leader, Yin Xiaoming, took Xiao Xiao'er, Xiao Hong, and Xiao Lu to learn some knowledge in mathematics, physics and chemistry. After all, Xiao Xiao'er is a dragon, Xiao Hong is a female ghost, and Xiao Green is a tree demon. None of them have learned modern science and culture. Xiao Ming was bored and took them to study. Xiao Xiao'er has grown up now. As Tatsumai, he is fascinated by zoology. Xiao Lu is very interested in botany because of his background. The female ghost Xiao Hong began to study the legends of various monsters and monsters outside China. The leader is responsible for solving their doubts. As for the main mission, this group of people didn't bother to care about it and just let other Xiaoming worry about it. Only the leader can occasionally do something serious, and that is writing books quietly. He decided to spread the book Strange Man from Far Island throughout the world. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhenshen. Chapter 1299. I knew this would be the result. The leader's sister, Xiao Jing'er, also expressed the thoughts of all the team members through the leader's mouth. A sword light coldly shines on Zhu and Kraken both felt that this was very touching. Fat Protector, Brother Wen, did not participate in this discussion because he could not be with the leaders forward, Chen Xiaoming. As expected, several of them wanted to participate in the operation to blow up the Sakura train, but they were all rejected by Xiaoming. Because the operation plan this time was very simple, just find a gap when the devils were patrolling near the railway tracks, rush over and install the time bomb, that's it. Xiaoming knew everything about the train schedule and the schedule of the Japanese Devils patrol team. This matter can be said to be easy. It doesn't take so many people at all. Too many people will make it easier to be exposed. It is enough for the leader's right guard, Huang Xiaoming, and Kurama to take action. If they are really unlucky and caught by the devils, they can commit suicide and not revive. Let all clues end here. This plan resulted in no chance for the other members of Ming Jing team to perform. Xiao Ming completed all 3 main missions in the world alone. No wonder Xiao Jing'er complained. At the beginning, they basically won the mission because of Xiao Ming. That's why they decided not to let Xiao Ming participate in the main mission in the future. Although winning by doing nothing is not bad, it's also very uncomfortable when it happens too many times. It feels meaningless. This kind of thing that other reincarnations envy is abandoned by Ming Jing team. They really don't know how to be grateful for the blessing. This time, because my brother hasn't entered the reincarnation space for a long time, Xiao Jing'er advocated doing the mission together. As a result, as soon as I started the mission, I soon relived the original feeling. Although Xiao Ming's strength is also limited by the reincarnation space, the ability of telepathy is really too buggy. Especially in this kind of spy mission world. As a result, the other members of Ming Jing team became idle again. Of course, if they insist on participating in the last mission, it's fine. It was just that they had to squeeze into the mission that they were clearly not suitable for. It also increased the chance of mission failure. It felt a bit like looking for trouble when they were full. They agreed that after the mission was over, they would randomly find a single-player world to play and would no longer team up with the captain. Boom, boom, boom. A series of violent explosions took away the lives of countless traitors and Japanese devils, and the Sakura really turned into a sky full of cherry blossoms. In addition to the group of guys who were killed in the explosion, the first to know about this was the embarrassed 2 evil spirits who were observing with a telescope in the distance. The mission was successful, and the 2 quickly returned to Shanghai. To be on the safe side, the leader's right guard, Huang Xiaoming, and Kurama not only used several time bombs, but also buried various mines on the railroad tracks make sure that the Sakura must be blown up. It is indeed a bit of a waste to use so many weapons to deal with a train. But Xiaoming didn't care, anyway, they were all stolen from the Japanese troops. It's great to return the property to its original owner. Soon the news spread throughout SH City. Mingtai, Yu Manli, and Guo Qiun of the Scorpion Squad were secretly shocked. Unexpectedly, in addition to their team, the Scorpion Squad actually had another force. It was so powerful that it could complete such a difficult task. Where did they get the explosives? This matter must be reported to Master Poison Bee. Of course, this is not a big deal. It is normal for senior officials engaged in intelligence work to have secret connections. Mingtai didn't know that because he did not participate in the mission to blow up the Sakura, he missed the opportunity to meet Cheng Jinyun, an underground worker in Yan'an, for the first time, kissed her for the first time, and had a good impression of each other. I believe that if Yu Manli knew about this, she would be very happy. Compared with the jubilation of Chongqing and Yan'an, number 76 and the Special High Technology Department were in a gloomy mood. This time they were severely slapped in the face. The head of the Special High Technology Department, Yoko Minami, and even her boss, Yoshimasa Fujita, will be severely reprimanded by the higher authorities. They are naturally angry with number 76 and even the senior officials of the Wang puppet government. Ming Lu and others, including Liang Zhongchun, the director of the operations department of number 76, and Wang Manchun, the director of the intelligence department, will all be scolded. After that, they will scold their subordinates. Among them, only Ming Lu is miserable on the surface, but happy in his heart. This is a test of acting skills. The reason why the leader Vanguard, Orange Xiaoming, cannot become an agent on the field is mainly because of his poor acting skills. Of course, Xiaoming's acting skills are not really that bad. He deliberately performed like that in order to stay in the Special High Technology Department for a long time. With his current ability, he is best at facial paralysis. because things in the low-energy world are already difficult to move him. The most common expression on Xiaoming's face is expressionless. He doesn't have the life of a young man, but he has the disease of a young man. It's better not to mention it. The main task 3 was successful, and Xiao Jing'er, Wen Ji, Kraken, and Xiao Xiao all withdrew from the world of the pretender as soon as possible. Such a world with a low energy level is not suitable for wasting task cards to continue staying. There is no room for development. Only Zhao Zhuzhu, who was a member of the Dragon Clan, stayed with the captain Xiao Ming. Facing Xiao Ming's questioning eyes, Zhao Zhuzhu explained a little. Since Xiao Jing'er and the others were not at a high enough level, some things were not clear. In fact, from a certain perspective, the world with a low energy level is also very valuable for development. This development value is reflected in talents. If the protagonists of this low energy world can be recruited as followers and trained, they are likely to become masters if they are lucky. Xiao Ming deeply agrees. Ming Tai looks like a swordsman or a sword fairy. There is a bit of gambling in it, but the cost effectiveness is quite high. Because recruiting them as followers, the task difficulty is relatively low. As the protagonist of a world, the plasticity is generally good. If it doesn't work, it won't be too painful to replace him. Zhao Zhuzhu stayed to try whether he could recruit Ming Cheng. Xiao Ming could only wish him good luck. From his point of view, the chances of success are very slim. The comrades in Yan'an have always been the most determined fighters. It may be more difficult to recruit him than to recruit masters from other worlds. The final result is indeed the case. Fortunately, Zhao Zhuzhu doesn't care about this matter very much, so he just gives it a try. If it doesn't work, forget it. Xiao Ming is still more wise and didn't try it at all. He has a bigger appetite and intends to help Yan'an win faster with his own strength. Using Minglu as a clue, Xiao Ming wants to send a certain Xiao Ming to Yan'an. At the same time, plant Xiao Ming in Chongqing and number 76. Orange Xiao Ming has already infiltrated the Special High Technology Department. In addition, the leader, Silver Xiao Ming, who is a college student, plans to go to the United States as a student. There are countless high-techs there, and any of them can be a great help to the war of resistance. Especially the atomic bomb. Even if this technology is stolen, Yan'an cannot make an atomic bomb, but there is no harm in storing the information. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhenshen. Chapter 1300. Xiao Ming's idea was very good, but unfortunately this mission world made him unable to give full play to it and he returned home unhappy. As mentioned in the previous article, the reincarnation space often combines multiple worlds together, so that it can save resources. In this round of the Pretender world, only Shanghai, Suzhou, Hong Kong, a few places are real. A distance away from these places is another mission world. The leader's right guard, Huang Xiaoming, first proposed to Ming Cheng that he wanted to work in Yan'an. Let the headquarters get first-hand information. And expressed his willingness to be under strict surveillance. Minglu had no reason to refuse such a request. With the ability of Xiaoming and his group, they should indeed be placed on a bigger stage. However, Ming Cheng still refused and insisted that the leader and others stay in Shanghai to work. This aroused Xiaoming's suspicion and guessed a clue. So he split his troops into two groups. The leader's left guard, Green Xiaoming, who opened a tea house, went directly to Yan'an, while the leader, Silver Xiaoming, took a plane to the United States. As a result, the two Xiaomings entered different worlds. The energy level of one of the worlds is not low. It should have some development value. However, Xiaoming, who was in a depressed mood, had lost interest. He might as well go to the Transformers world as soon as possible. Xiaoming was too lazy to check what the new world looked like. He directly exited the Pretender world and left the half-written Far Island Strange Man to Minglu before leaving. After returning to the team space, Everyone laughed for a while, and the others randomly entered the single-player world to play. Xiaoming naturally used his authority to return to the Transformers series world. As the saying goes, good fortune never comes alone, and misfortune never comes alone. Xiaoming returned empty-handed again this time. What bad luck! The specific situation is this. Xiaoming's authority can only allow him to randomly enter a world in the Transformers series, but he cannot specify which one to enter. He cannot choose whether to enter Transformers 1 or Transformers 5. He cannot specify the time point to enter the plot. This time, it was actually not bad. Xiaoming entered the world of Transformers 2. After scanning Xiaoming with his mental power, he found that there was no fire source on the Earth at this time. At this time, he didn't know that in fact, at the end of Transformers 1, the fire source was destroyed by the protagonist. Not to mention the Earth, there is no complete fire source in the entire universe. In Transformers 2, there are only 2 small fire source fragments left. It looks like it is not enough to enlighten EVA Unit 3. However, Xiaoming didn't believe in evil, and he personally stole the fragment on the protagonist and the fire source fragment collected by the American traitor government. After trying it, he found that it didn't work. He could only absorb it. In the process of stealing the fire source fragment, Xiaoming naturally knew the general plot of Transformers 1. It turns out that the entire fire source only appears in Transformers 1. Xiaoming was so angry. Is it so difficult to become a Transformer? He killed a few Decepticons who harmed mankind and left the world of Transformers 2. Although Xiaoming didn't do anything, he still made a lot of changes to this world. Without the Allspark fragments, Megatron could not be resurrected. In addition, because several powerful Decepticons were killed by Xiaoming, the sudden appearance of an unknown strong enemy made the villain, the fallen King Kong, dare not act rashly and continue to hide on the Decepticon spacecraft. These are all later stories, Xiaoming does not know. He wasted such an important authority, and his mood was quite depressed. If Xiaoming knew that he missed a major opportunity, he would probably be so angry that he vomited blood. Because in the Transformers 2 world, although there is no Allspark, there is another treasure, the leadership module, Matrix of Leadership. The leadership module can also allow Xiaoming to realize his wish and give EVA Unit 3 the ability to transform. Unfortunately, Xiaoming was not interested in continuing to play because things did not go well. He missed the leadership module. Of course, his transformation wish will not be in vain. As long as he continues to collect Allspark fragments and accumulates enough, he can still get it. It just takes longer time and more resources to collect Allspark fragments. In addition, the rewards of these 2 mission worlds are pretty good. Xiaoming chose to pile up the silver source energy tree. Now he is 4.9 meters tall. The reason is that the flower that represents the ability to enlighten Transformers blooms on this tree. On October 10th, at about 3 o'clock in the morning, the 5 Xiaomings exited the reincarnation space and went back to their homes. If a person is unlucky, it will never end. Orange Xiaoming, who has the reincarnation disc, reincarnated again in the world without supernatural energy. Xiaoming felt that he had been an animal so many times, he should be reincarnated as a human once. Unexpectedly, this time, he was reincarnated as a pine tree in the deep mountains and old forests he couldn't even move. Hee, landlord, you are really unlucky. How come you turned into a tree? Xiaoming was shocked. He couldn't even use his powerful mental power. As a tree, he basically had no sensory organs. Fortunately, his energy was very strong. Although it could not be used in this world, it still allowed him to accurately see the scene within a radius of 7 or 8 meters around the tree, and also hear the sound. A woman in work uniform was sitting on a branch of her own, holding a camera in her hand to film herself. Isn't this the goddess Eva who merged with the reporter's mind beast? How did she manage to show up in this world? Xiaoming himself couldn't release the mind beast. A closer look revealed that Eva was not a physical entity, but only an energy body similar to a ghost. But she could do it, and he couldn't, which showed that Eva's ability was indeed greater than his, and her realm was also higher than his. Of course, the higher it was, the higher it was. Eva could only condense one energy body in this world. She couldn't do more. Fortunately, it was Eva. If it was someone else, Xiaoming would not be able to communicate with her. Eva was half of his mind beast, and the two could communicate with each other in a short distance with their spirits. Eva, it's great that you can show up. I don't know much about this world. You can go out and take a look. Make a documentary and show it to me. Okay, seeing you are so pitiful. This goddess will agree to you. Eva smiled sweetly and floated away with the camera. Xiaoming watched her float out of his visual range. He felt a little disappointed. Less than 3 minutes later, Eva floated back again. Feeling Xiaoming's doubts in her mind, Eva pouted and said, "No, no, I've used up half of my energy in just a short while. I can't hold on for long." "Ah. What should I do?" Xiaoming felt a little disappointed and gloating in his spiritual communication. "It's okay," Eva also joked, "I can absorb energy as long as I'm by your side. If I absorb enough, I should be able to go out and play for 3 to 5 days before coming back." Xiaoming was speechless. Well, she went out to play and used her own energy, and it seemed like he should be grateful to her. What a mess.